Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about ephedrine and caffeine. We'll talk about what it does, how much to take, side effects, is it safe, is it natty? We're going to go through all that. So, first of all, what is ephedrine? Ephedrine in the medical world is mainly used for decongestants and low blood pressure. It raises your blood pressure and opens your airways. But taking it with caffeine, paired together, it works really well and kind of makes like a super caffeine to really increase your heart rate, increase your blood flow. It increases metabolic rate by about 5%, and it completely gets rid of hunger. So some side effects obviously are increased blood pressure and increased heart rates. Taking too much could result in palpitations and irregular heart rhythms. So be really careful and pace yourself if you're going to take it. If you have any underlying heart issues or heart conditions, I would just avoid it altogether. But if you are really set on this, at least talk to your doctor. And I think everyone should talk to their doctor before trying this out. But also, if you struggle with anxiety, low or high, be really careful with it, because for people with anxiety, it can cause a lot more stress and a lot more anxiety and could lead to panic attacks, which is not great for anyone, and even heart attacks. So if you have any of these problems, be really careful. I don't really struggle with that stuff, but it still made me a bit more irritable. I got angry a lot easier when I was on this stuff. I had to calm myself down over small things that wouldn't normally make me angry. But let's keep going. So how does it work? So like I said before, combined it kind of makes like a super caffeine. I'm no scientist, so remember, I'm not a doctor. None of my word is great, but I'm just telling you about my experience with it. But yeah, it makes kind of a super caffeine, gives you a lot of energy, a lot of focus, and eradicates your hunger. Like you'll take it, and 15 minutes later, there's no hunger left. You're not hungry at all. It's pretty crazy. Some people take aspirin with it to protect their heart, I believe, but you don't really need to take it unless you're really overweight. Most people don't take the aspirin, but some do. I would just do some more research on the aspirin aspect for sure. It does have a crash, though, obviously, as caffeine does. And the way that most people counter that is just by taking more. But at the end of the day, I was definitely really tired. So let's talk about my experience. I took ephedrine caffeine, for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And in the 2.5 weeks, I lost about 6 pounds, which is quite a lot for the end of a cut. I was on really low calories. I was eating 1,400 calories and doing 2 hours of walking every day. So I was in a huge deficit, but I wasn't ever hungry, pretty much. I was very focused. I had lots of energy for the first dosing at least, and no hunger at all, which was, the main goal of taking this. But let's move to the negatives. It felt quite good for the first few days, but the more I took and the less calories I ate, the worse I felt. Especially after the first dose. I would crash after the first dose, and the other ones wouldn't really pick me up at all. I wasn't hungry, but I was tired and weak from the lack of food. And once the first dose wore off, I was just exhausted for the rest of the day. I was easily irritated, and it wasn't a great time in general. For my dosings, I took 8 milligrams of ephedrine and 100 milligrams of caffeine per dose for the first bit. For the first day, I only took one of those doses. For the second day, I took 2 of them. For the third day, I took 3. Then for another few days, I just kept on with the 8/100. And then after that, I started the day with 16 milligrams and 200 milligrams of caffeine. And I took 16 to 200, and then 2 doses of 8 for 100 for about 4 more days, and then I upped it to 16, 200, 16, 200, 8, 100. And I didn't really go higher than that because I didn't feel like I needed to. But the common dosings we'll talk about. Common dose is 10 milligrams of ephedrine to 100 milligrams of caffeine. Each of these, I believe, is 4. Oh, they're 8. All these are 8 milligrams each little tablet. So you start off commonly with 8 to 100, and I would recommend doing what I did. Start with just 1 for the first day, 2 for the second day, 3 for the third day, and then keep up with the 3 doses of 8 to 100 every day until they feel like they wore off, and then do the 16 to 200 for the morning dose, and then 2 more regular doses for the other 2, and then up that. And eventually, at the very end, I would not recommend going any higher than this. You dose at 24 milligrams of ephedrine to 300 milligrams of caffeine. And once you get 3 doses of that a day, you do not go any higher. I would for sure not say. And make sure you are checking your blood pressure while you're doing this. I didn't really check mine because I wasn't taking a ton of it, but I would still recommend checking it and checking with your doctor before you do this. The recommended use for this is usually, I believe people take it like a month to 2 months at most. I would say 6 weeks is probably the longest you should take it for. Yeah, 6 weeks, I would say. Most people take this at the end of a cut. And I guess that'll move us into, should you take it? If you are at the beginning of a diet, if you're overweight and you are just trying to lose weight, don't take it. It does not replace good dieting and exercise, and it's not necessary to take in that case. But if you are at the end of a cut, near the end of your diet, you are wanting to go really low calories for the last little bit, and you are really struggling with hunger, then I would recommend trying it out if you don't have any heart problems or anxiety, and if your doctor says it's okay. Now, not all doctors are super smart on a lot of these kind of things, it seems, but your doctor should know it. No more than me, that's for sure. Yeah, that would be my advice. Please check with your doctor before you consider consuming this, and you should only be taking it if you are at the end of a cut, if you are trying to get to low body fat percentages, and you are trying to have a very low deficit. But don't take it for a long time. Is it natty? Some people think it's not natty just because it's banned in bodybuilding, but I don't think that's good enough to call it not natty. You can buy it at any supplement store, at least here in Canada. I believe it's banned in some places in the States because you can use it to make meth. You have to use a ton of it though. So I would say it's definitely natty in my opinion. If you disagree, comment below and tell me why. Yeah, other than that, it's pretty regular. I mean, if this is a natty, then you could call caffeine not natty. It's just pretty much taking a decongestant and caffeine and they're working together to work hard. If you want more information, check out Anabolic Doc's video on the EC Stack. He has a very good video on it. But does it work? Yes, it works. It's been proven to work in obese people even, and it 100% works. This is probably the only weight loss supplement that I would recommend at all, just from my knowledge of weight loss supplements, because most of them don't work. I'm sure there are other things out there that you can use. This is just the first thing I've used. I've also heard this is a gateway drug to steroid use, so be careful there. If that's not what you want and that's not what you're planning on, then just make sure you stick to that mindset. Yeah, but if you guys try it and it works out well, let me know. Be careful with it, please. Stay jacked out there, work hard. I love you guys. See you next time.